The Maryland State Department of Education's Division of Early Childhood Development has published Supporting Every Young Learner, Maryland's Guide to Early Childhood Pedagogy, Birth to Age 8, commonly referred to as the Pedagogy Guide. The Maryland Early Learning Standards are found in the appendix of the Pedagogy Guide. We hope you find this video to be a useful tool as you work with Maryland's children. Pedagogy is the art and practice of teaching, and when implemented effectively, improves the quality of learning and development for students. 5 areas of pedagogy are highlighted in Chapter 7 of the Pedagogy Guide: communication, engagement, questioning and discussion, feedback, and differentiation. Feedback has a major influence on a child's achievement and self-perception. A teacher's ability to carefully observe and monitor children is critical in providing effective feedback. Feedback should be equitable, with all learners receiving feedback. Feedback is more than praising a child. Simply saying, "great job," may make children feel good, but it is not specific and therefore does not reinforce the desired learning outcome. Feedback is most effective when it is timely, constructive, and specific. The teacher plays an important role in fostering a classroom culture that encourages constructive criticism and opportunities for children to express themselves. In this video, let's observe kindergarten and pre-kindergarten classes as teachers use feedback to promote student learning and understanding.
High five. Excellent. You problem solved through that whole thing.
You are so right. Did you hear what she said? This is what protects the inside of the seat.
How many individual teeth are we putting back in our baggie?
1, 5 and 5.
Yeah, if you break it apart like I did at first, you will have 5 and 5. You're right.
I tried to really observe what they were doing and let them to be really free. So with the feedback, I wanted them to be able to take what I was telling them or asking of them and make adjustments. The things that I was saying was kind of probing and triggering, being very specific to the task. Cameron says maybe you should put something at the bottom of the ramp to stop the marble so that nobody has to catch it. What do you think about that? Good work. Talk to me about what your idea is. What's your idea going to be?
We will have both of the sticks on now.
Oh, so do you want to use a stool or 2 chairs? What do you
I
think?
am good.
Or both?
What's a question you might have?
You did a great job.
Well, that's not a question. That is a compliment, though. And you can give yourself a pat on the back because she just gave you a compliment. You did a great job.
I'm missing 2 things. A picture and more than 2 sentences.
Oh, I'm so glad you used that checklist to figure that out. So how could you make that better?
Let's think about this for a second, okay? Your building, it keeps falling down because the top is starting to get a little heavy. Do you agree? So maybe if you start building the bottom part first, because you need to finish building a base first before you can build the rest of the building, right? Oh, we're turning it over. That's a good idea. Now maybe on that side you can start with a toothpick going up as support. Thank you for writing your name nice. With that our fancy cursive letters, right, Raheem?
And when we line them, they're going to see who has more and less.
So you line them up to see who has more than less, more or who has less. That's a fun game. Let's see how it works out. I'm going to watch you play for a minute, okay?
What word are you working on?
Elephant.
Elephant, okay. So do you hear any other sounds? What letter makes that sound?
Is it okay?
Okay.
Now Everett, do you think maybe you could give Mason some suggestions on what he can do to help fix his building, since I think he's having a little bit of trouble? Could you share some suggestions with him? No, tell him your suggestions instead of doing it for him.
Put these like 2 marshmallows together like that, and then like what I did, like that, and keep.
Everett, I really loved how you gave Mason suggestions on how he can fix his rectangular prism.
Dean, read me your sentence you have so far.
I have 8
And then how are you going to continue that? I have 8
squirrels.
8 squirrels? Well, how did you know how to spell that word 8 all by yourself?
I looked at the number 8.
So you used the word roll up there? Boys and girls, did you hear what a great job Dean did? Dean spelled 8 just like a grown-up, and tell the boys and girls how you knew that. What did you use?
I used it, the number 8 up there.
So he used the number 8 word wall up there. Oh, I love that you are giving him a round of applause. He does deserve that.
So at the end of the lesson, we come back to the carpet so that we can discuss what you've been doing. And we wrap up by asking what you did, and they show their work, they explain what they did, and the students that are sitting on the rug are checking to make sure that the people who are sharing did everything they're supposed to, so we can post their work. So in the future, other people can see what it looks like to be a good worker at that workstation.
Maybe you could turn and talk to a partner. Ask him. What do you think? Let's try what he says. You think it goes right there? I'm going to Nanny's house. I love you. Is that where we paused? All right, then you might want to add a period there.
It's only hard to draw a rectangle prism.
It's okay, just try your best. I want you to focus on the sentence, telling about why they're different. So even if you just try to make a rectangle prism, label it, and then get started on your sentence, that's okay. Yes.
The air comes into it so we can move it.
Oh, so what is the air doing?
It's pushing.
It's pushing the sail, right? So they put the sails on the boat so that the sail can act like a catcher, right? Like a mitt is catching a ball. So when the air is pushing, the sail is catching it so the boat can move.
A powerful strategy for providing feedback is asking children to reflect and give feedback on their own work, as well as having their peers review it.
I also ask them a lot of questions so that they have a chance to reflect on the things that the activities that we're working on, self-reflecting. It kind of gets them to explain more and to be able to use a deeper level of thinking. How do you feel about working in a group with other friends?
I like seeing other people's boats because I want to see how theirs is.
So you like working with others so that you can hear their ideas also?
We can work as a team. And
You're going to start with 10. And then I want you to make up a subtraction problem about that. And then we're going to turn and talk after you do it.
do I have all my They're mixed up. Because if I'm going to mind my breath, all I have to do is this. And it'll be the same. But if then I can do this. And I could do the same thing as him.
Very interesting.
The teacher provided feedback using multiple modalities, including visual, tactile, and kinesthetic. The student peer review helped them to reflect on their work. In the last example, 2 students discovered their subtraction problems were related. One student had 10 minus 4 equals 6, while the other one had 10 minus 6 equals 4. This example highlights the importance of teacher observation of students before giving feedback.
What do you think, Cameron?
How would I get? I do not like this.
Did you find that you used a lot of feedback?
Yeah, I think that really you have to be a facilitator. So you have to kind of take a step back, which I think for a lot of teachers is difficult. When I was giving them some feedback, I just made a lot of comments about how Andrew really referred back to his plan. While he was building his bridge, he referred back to what he had drawn.
I find it leads a lot to reflection. Like you were saying, how they're reflecting. I had them compare their plan with their actual zoo. And I noticed that they were really taking a lot of time looking at the 2 pictures, and I asked them to compare and talk about things that are similar and different.
When we looked at our other bridge, you told me that we needed to make it more sturdy, right? We needed more support, more blocks. Are you building your new one with more blocks?
What did you do here around your giraffes and your plans?
Okay.
Oh, so this is a cage. Now let's look at your picture. Where are your giraffes?
I know, right there, and they don't have a cage.
Uh-oh. Now what could happen if the animals don't have a cage?
They can get up and run out and mess up everything.
Was 8 and 1 more? 8. 9. Good job, right? I heard you count 8, 9. Excellent job.
The quality of the feedback is more important than quantity. The teacher's judgment in providing feedback is based on observing a situation and her knowledge of the student. A talented teacher knows how and when to provide feedback to optimize student learning.
Now I want you to pay a little bit of attention to where your sail is facing, because maybe that can be something that you can change, or maybe you don't have to. I don't know. We'll see. To what?
2 squares.
Oh, so a rectangular prism only has 2 squares and a cube has a lot. How do you remember how many?
6.
Yeah, so that's how they're different. That's interesting. What are all the reasons for why they're different?
Share Chair is big for feedback because I choose a few students each day who have done some exceptional work. First of all, it fosters self-esteem because they're important. They get to share with their peers what kind of great work they've done today.
And I am going in the car with my family.
Good job. What else do you notice? Oh, she has a speech bubble, and her speech bubble is coming from the car. What's your speech bubble say? Oh, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's that's the sound. Do you have a question about his writing?
Is Okinawa.
That's the same question I had. Did you hear what she said? Where is Okinawa? You know what I really like about his writing?
What?
His letters are so neat. It is very easy to read. I like it. And look, he has finger spaces, so it's so easy to read his words. He has lots and lots of details in there, and he has lots of pictures. You guys give him a round of applause.
So you say you're going to start apart, and then you're going to put it together? So we have to figure this out first apart, and then you're going to put it together so that they can connect. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. You made like a tunnel almost. How would you get the marble out?
How about we write a traffic light to tell them not to go over to get to the wires?
Oh, or a traffic light. What else could you use? A traffic light or a
We could use the stop sign.
maybe a stop sign. That's a good idea.
Addison, are you thinking of other ways that you plan to design to redesign the boat?
Specific feedback provides students with information on how they did and identifies areas for improvement. It causes them to reflect on their work and plan what they should do next. The teacher plays a vital role by being explicit in recognizing and applauding the student's effort. The research of Carol Dweck at Stanford University has emphasized the importance of children having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset, and believing that achievement is the result of accepting challenges and being persistent. Teachers who explicitly acknowledge the effort and hard work of children send the message that the process of learning is most important.